Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Hazar. On this occasion, I will present the result of our project on antioxidant activity of Arabica coffee, Coffea arabica lean, from Arjasari district that processed naturally, semi-washed and full washed. My team members are Esti Rahmawati Sadia, Raza Abdul Qadir, Lisma Herawati, Sagita Cahyani, Sagita Cahyadi, and Laroiba Fauzi. The quality of coffee used for beverages is directly related to the chemical composition of the roasted beans, which in turn is mainly affected by the composition of green beans and post-harvest processing conditions. In general, there are post-harvest processing mechanism for the dry and wet method. Dry processing is called a natural process. Wet processing is known as semi-washed or honey process and full washed process. Arabica coffee is a widely consumed coffee variety because it has a delicious taste, is not too bitter, and a little sour. One of the areas in Indonesia that produce the best Arabica coffee is Arjasari district in Kabupaten Bandung, West Java. Arabica coffee from Bandung Regency has the quality of specialty coffee at the 2019 Bandung Coffee Festival. And also, Arabica coffee from Bandung Regency had given an award by the Specialty Coffee Association of America Expo in the USA in 2016 as a specialty coffee. The green coffee component affected by post-harvest treatment. Consequently, the mode and extent of metabolic processes occurring within the living coffee seeds and thus the metabolic status of these coffee beans must be differed to, so that it will also affect the antioxidant activity of the coffee beans. During the drying process, the coffee beans do not experience dormancy, but enter a germination period, which is many physiological processes and bean metabolism begins at this stage. So this will affect the compound content in the coffee beans and also the coffee aroma. Many antioxidant studies have been conducted on roasted coffee beans. However, research on naturally processed, full washed, and semi-washed green Arabica coffee beans from Arjasari has not been conducted before. This research was conducted in several steps. There are sample collection, phytochemical screening and extraction, water content measurement, and antioxidant activity. First, sample collection. Green beans that used in this research is Java Pranger coffee, origin from Mount Malabar, West Java, Indonesia. This coffee is planted and harvested by local farmer in Arjasari district with altitude 1,000 to 1350 meters high at sea level. The post-harvest of red coffee had done by liquor coffee. The post-harvest process are naturally semi-washed and full washed. This is the picture of a Coffea arabica plant, Coffea arabica vartipica, and this is a green bean that we used in this research. This is the post-harvest process after the ripe coffee fruit picked by farmer. Ripe coffee cherries are red colors. The nuts are put in the water, and then the floating coffee cherries are discarded, and the sunken coffee cherries will go through a drying process. There are in general, there are two process of drying. First, dry process is natural process that carried out by drying all of ripe coffee cherries, all of the fruit, without peel in a greenhouse until the moisture content is 12 to 13%. While the wet processing are semi-wash process, as known as honey process, is done by peeled or depulping sunken coffee cherries, then fermented for 12 hours, and then dried in the greenhouse until the moisture content is 12 to 13%. Then the full wash process is done by peeled or the pulping sunken coffee cherries. Uh, all of the uh, all of the fruit is the pulping, then washed and then fermented for 12 hours, and then washed again until there is no more pulp, and then dried in the greenhouse until the moisture content is 12 to 13%. This is the green coffee beans that we used in this research. Natural green coffee beans, semi-washed, or as known as honey, and full washed green coffee beans. The result for this research, first, result of phytochemical screening of green beans and ethanolic extract of green beans. GBN is reversed to green beans natural. GBSW reversed to green beans semi-washed, and GBFW is reversed to green beans full washed. The result was relevant to the result explained by Patai et al. 2016 that coffee seeds contain polyphenol compound, alkaloid, tannin, terpenoids, only saponin that were not detected in the samples. Then the result of water content and moisture of green beans, which is the maximum limit of the permissible water content, is not more than 10%. This aims to prevent the growth of bacteria and fungi of the storage stage. The result shows that all of samples have water content value less than 10%. Then the moisture of green beans, the measurement result of green beans moisture contents showed that the three samples had relatively the same humidity values or moisture content. Uh, these grades uh, these grades meet quality standards for specialty coffee beans, which is the value is 9 to 13%. Which moisture content is important for determine the next process, uh, which is roasting process. Then the result of antioxidant activity test, it can be seen that the GBSW sample has lower IC50 value than the other two samples. Uh, this is yeah lower than the other sample compared with vitamin C as the this value is the value of extract effective concentration, which is needed to reduce 50% of diphenyl picryl free radicals activity. The lower the IC50 value of a test material, the stronger the antioxidant activity. The antioxidant activity of the three samples also includes very strong antioxidants effect because it has an IC value of less than 50 ppm. The compounds such as chlorogenic acid and polyphenol, which contribute to the antioxidant activity in coffee, which coffee beans that are wet processed, semi-washed and full washed have higher antioxidant value than the natural process. This is presumably because during the wet process, more optimal fermentation occurs, so that the synthesis of antioxidant compounds, including polyphenol and flavonoids, can be maximized. There ultimately affect the value of antioxidant activity. In the full washed and semi-washed process, a fermentation process occur during washing. This causes a sour taste in the coffee produced and affect the compound that contain in the green bean. The conclusion of this research: Arabica coffee beans, Coffea Arabica, have very strong antioxidant activity, where coffee beans processed semi-washed have the best antioxidant activity among the other three samples. This is references that we used in this presentation. Uh, we would like to acknowledge to LPPM Universitas Islam Bandung for supporting this research and publication. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.